My name is Christopher Saunders, and this is the Connecticut Sports Talent Show. We talk all things talents in Connecticut. And I've got a big talent who decided to come back. I didn't scare him away. He's a former football player at the high school level at Bristol Central, who, if people may want to know, Donovan Klein will be going to UConn. He's committed, but he's got one more year of high school. But as I told this guest, who I will introduce in a second, it's just Bristol Central, D1, D1, another D1. They just churn out athletes. And this player was great when he was at the high school during his 4 years. His name, Dathan Hickey. He plays at Yale. Hickey, it's a pleasure to be able to get you back on here.
Pleasure to be here.
I think before we get into anything, I just want to ask, I know you said your parents are moving, and, how has that been? I mean, I know you said that you guys have lived in the area for a long time, so I'm sure it must be a little bit hard to say goodbye.
Yeah, it is hard to say goodbye, but it's time for a new chapter to start. My baby brother, he'll grow up in Florida, and I think it'll bring a lot of opportunities for him as well, and then also for my parents to just relax a little bit. I'll always rep A60, I'll always rep Bristol, so there's no really leaving home.
Now, are they going to be able to come watch you? I know it's going to be a little bit harder because obviously the drive to Yale is a lot shorter in Bristol than it is
Yeah.
from Florida. So how is that going to work?
They're gonna figure it out. They always get to my games however they have to, however they need, whatever they need to do. They always figure out a way. So I'm not really worried about that. I know that they'll make it.
I'm sure that they have the tickets already bought for all the home games. I'm sure. Knowing your
They
parents,
are.
I don't know them personally, but just in the conversations that I had with you when you were on this well in the beginning, I know that your parents just love what you've done both on and off the field and want to do anything they can to help you.
Exactly.
But anywho, that's, I wish your parents nothing but safe travels to Florida as well as your younger brother as well. Um,
Appreciate that.
how has it been? I haven't talked to you. I mean, I know I've been talking with you on and off on Instagram and such, and I've been able to see a lot of your workouts. And bro, it looks like you've been putting in a lot of work. So kind of
Yeah, I'm
just
trying.
take me, yeah, like just take me into your workouts because you had up until a couple months ago a lot of time to kind of really either two things, either shape your body to the best or go the other way in a negative way. So just talk to me about that.
Yeah. So during quarantine, I took a couple weeks to get my mind right after we got sent home from school, and then after that, I put together a schedule where I would wake up in the mornings, run 2 laps around my block. It's a pretty big block, so it's probably like about a mile and a half. Um, I would run 2 laps around there, then come home, eat breakfast. Then I would go to a workout at the edge, or before the edge opened up, I would go to one of my friend's house. He had like a little indoor gym with bench and squat rack. So I would go there, make up little workouts, things that I knew that I wanted to work on, and then go back home for lunch. And then I would go to the field, whatever field's open. Central was usually open. I could run hills and stuff like that. And then I just really made the most of what I had. Um, I did that for multiple months, and then I got in with Andre Dixon and Dixon Sports Performance, and we got rolling with that. A whole bunch of different workouts that were given to me. Whatever he gave to me, I did, knowing that he wants what's best for me. And then later in around the end of the summer into the fall, I got with diligence training too. So I was going to Dixon's Sports Performance in the morning, come back home, rest for a little bit, and then go to diligence training at night, just working on no explosiveness, footwork drills, DB drills, strength, power, um, all of that. And I really just kept going, 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 got myself into a routine and never looked back.
Now, the things that you wanted to work on, man, was that something that your coach or the staff said that you had to work on, or was it something that you took upon yourself? Because in the beginning of what you just told me, you said that how you made kind of your own routine as far as your workouts that you felt like you wanted to work on. That takes a lot of not just discipline, but also the willingness to say, I'm not as good as what I could be. And this is what I need to work on. And it takes a very strong minded person to do that.
Yeah, I really just like thought about what I see in the best corners in the NFL and also the best corners in college football and see what they have that is a little bit better than what I have. So I really just like dug into that and then saw I was like, all right, I need to be more explosive. I need to have quicker feet. I need to work on my back pedal, work on my brakes. And all those little things, and also what coach, my DB coach here says, working on my line of scrimmage skills, working on my footwork, and all that stuff, where it really helps me build myself as a player all around. And those little things that people might say, "Oh no, I'm good with." I'm never satisfied with how I am because I know I could always be getting better in some area of my game.
Have you noticed? I mean, I'm sure you have as far as physically, but overall, have you felt like the work that you've been putting in? And I know you haven't gotten onto a field as far as practice and whatever yet, and I know soon you will be, and I'm sure it will show immensely. But for you psychologically, because I know that's important, especially during the pandemic, you and I
Yeah,
talked about the mental side and how, like, have you basically seen improvement to where you feel like, you know what, now I'm getting to where I want to be?
absolutely. My brakes are sharper. My brakes are more powerful. I'm getting out faster. I'm just able to see the game and play the game a lot faster than I was. I feel strong. We would get together with guys around Connecticut and do 7-on-7s, and I just felt like I was flying around. And literally all the work that I was putting in really did show those couple of 7-on-7s, and then through spring ball last spring we were able to get a couple practices in. So everything that I was doing did benefit me. So I'm very thankful for all the trainers that took the time to work with me, and then also my parents for dealing with me at a time where I'm stuck at home trying to do what I can.
Hey, I'm sure they love it. Even though I'm sure sometimes maybe you got on their nerve. I'm sure they
But
love the fact. the fact that you were back and because what you were missing. I know they didn't love that. But just to
yeah,
have you home and that you would be safe, man. I think in and of itself, I think that's the most important thing. And also, too, you probably spent more time with them than you probably ever did because of the
yeah,
pandemic.
sure. Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I had a good time being able to see my baby brother grow up and hang out with my other brother, help him do what he had to do, and then like you said, hang out with my parents in times where we wouldn't have been able to see each other otherwise.
Well, that's great to hear, man. It's time that you can never get back, and it's a positive time. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You talked about as far as your workouts. Now you said the backpedaling, the sideline to sideline, the speed and all that. That what kind of rang in my head while you were talking about that was thinking of the previous draft, and I know that my favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys, they picked Parsons from Penn State, and
Mhm.
he's kind of like a hybrid linebacker. Like supposedly they want him to do a couple things that are outside the linebacker position, and I
Yeah.
kind of think of you in a sense because of the position that you play, because of how athletic and how now it sounds like you've changed your body in a sense. And because of how football is starting to really, almost like in baseball, where guys have to play multiple positions, well, because of the way offenses are, you're now having, as a defender, especially a position of yourself, you have to do more than just cover. So, do you
Yeah.
think that that's another reason, in a positive way, that you had so much time because now you're able to implement that into your game and the workouts?
Yeah, exactly. Just working on getting bigger, faster, stronger, and then me just being able to get bigger. I'm playing corner now, but that does give me a chance to go back to safety if coaches needed it, or play a little bit of nickel if I need to do that. So I really set myself up for success with how I recount my body and how I worked on my speed, size, and everything else that I was doing with power. And like I said, just set myself up for success to play whatever position the coaches need me to.
Now, as far as when the spring was kind of going through, when the news came out that there would be, with vaccines and the cases were starting to go down and such, I mean, that must have been, as far as for you and the program, and just, as far as football itself at the college level, you had to feel a sense of enlightenment, a sense of, we're going to get back out here. Because at a certain point during the pandemic, it was like, are we ever going to get back to normalcy? And now
Yeah,
it seems like we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel in some sense.
yeah. I was really excited to hear that. But I really taught myself also through the pandemic to not get too high, not get too low, no matter what. So um, little things like that, like us being able to play or cases going down, like yeah, you get excited for a little bit, but then you have to like get back to even because that could distract you just as much as something bad could distract you. So I try to really, I take the moment, enjoy it, but then know that like whether we're playing or not, I still have to work work out and do what I have to do to better myself.
Another, and I don't want to say this was a distraction, but I think in the sense of how, because of COVID, and COVID showed, I think, a lot of things. It showed how ugly some things are, and it also showed how beautiful other things are. And I'm not putting this on either category because it's debatable in a lot of ways. But you think about a lot of the social justice, the Black Lives Matter, other movements and such, LGBTQ and everything. And because of what COVID kind of showed that and kind of allow people to really see a lot of things in a majority of ways. How did you kind of keep yourself focused, but also wanting to help? Because I know I've seen some of your posts and I've seen and I applaud you for trying to do everything you can and using your platform and yourself because you're true to who you are, man. So,
For
how
sure.
did you kind of keep yourself from not going too far out where you kind of lose sight? Because that can happen to a lot of people where they lose where they're going and not try to stay on that positive path.
I think with everything going on, that really gave us a chance to like step back a little bit. No, workouts were still going. We are gonna still work out no matter what, but that was the most important thing at that time. Workouts weren't the most important thing. Getting to the NFL wasn't the most important thing. It was really taking care of ourselves, taking care of our community and stuff like that. So I really took the time to really hone in on that and do everything I can in the university and in my community to make sure that people know what's up. So um, I'm in this group at school right now. It's Yale Bulldogs for Change, YBC, and basically we're just a group that um, helps with equality and diversity on the campus, and we meet and we talk about things that we could do on campus and with the community to really build that bridge and have everybody be accepted. So we did that, doing stuff with that, then doing stuff in the community. When I interned with the mayor, I did something on Juneteenth in the Tulsa massacre and really helped explain to people what that was. And I think that I did everything I can in my power to let people know what's going on and what needs to be done and stuff like that. We had team meetings, and like I said, that was the most important thing at that time. But the goals that I have for myself were never lost. So I'm thankful for that, and there is still fighting to do. There's still things that need to be done, but I think that we're on the right track right now.
I did not know that you were a part of that group, and I think that's very admirable that you can, with how difficult Yale is in and of itself. I mean, I would flunk out of Yale in 2 days, probably one day. But for
Yeah,
you to be able to focus on school and then be a part of this very positive group for a multitude of ways, then also focus on football, potentially have the draft down the road as well, which I think is a strong possibility. And then, like you said, helping the community. I know you would any which way would try to give back to Bristol, Bristol Central, because in a lot of ways they kind of molded you with the help of your parents to be the man you are now. And I think it's one of those things that I think a lot of people can look up to, in Bristol, but overall.
exactly. Yeah, I would definitely give back to Bristol. They made me who I was, from youth football, all the way throughout high school. And I still have supportive teachers and coaches nowadays that I still talk to. So I'll never forget that, never forget where I came from, and I always give back when I can.
Have you thought of any, and I don't know if you've done it, so I apologize if I'm not giving you credit, but have you done anything in Bristol as far as giving back, or have you had any ideas as far as potential stuff down the road that you could do in Bristol?
Yeah. So I do want to run like camps for receivers and defensive backs and really get that going, just the youth and whatever age wants to come out, try to get that. Then I texted my principal in high school saying that when I can, I want to come back and I want to turf the fields, the baseball fields, and I want to put up a new scoreboard on our football field. So those are all things in the future that I plan to do or hope to do. Um, but I do have plans for what I'm going to do.
That's great to hear. I mean, those are goals that I think you can accomplish. I know you can accomplish. Not that I think, I know you can.
Appreciate that.
I know actually a defender who's from Connecticut. He went to St. Paul. Byron
Yeah.
Jones gives back to his community kind of just like that. I know he does camps in the area, and I think it must be something about defenders because it seems like you guys kind of have the same wavelength. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, definitely. It's a different kind of thinking.
It also helps too. He's making 90 mil plus. I wish he was still in
Yeah,
Dallas. You know.
that helps.
But hey, man, I think that's great to be able to have those goals, to have that projection of you wanting to do that. And I mean, what did what did your former principal say? Was he like, yeah, let's get this done?
I think he has the confidence in me and what in my word and what I can do. So um he really just said thank you and thumbs up, like let's do it. So uh when that day comes, everybody will know.
Oh, they'll know for sure. And then also the camps too. I mean, come on. I
Yeah,
mean, you and I were just talking about how many athletes come out of Bristol, let alone Bristol Central. And just imagine however far you get in your career, man. I mean, you could very well end up, let's say you have a great career, but the draft is not there. Or let's say you do have a chance and you do make it to the show for a little bit or however long it is. I don't think it's going to change kind of who you are mentally because, yeah, exactly. It's not going to change who you are because at the end of the day, you stay true to who you are no matter how high you go, low you go, how much or how little money you make. You stay the same person that you are.
exactly. And that will never change. That's how I was raised, and that's how I plan to raise my kids one day. So that'll stay true to me.
And if you stay in Connecticut, I feel so bad for those high schools that they play against because I'm telling you, it's going to be. I mean, I said the same thing about Klingon during the basketball season. I kept telling
Yeah,
people he's only a junior. You guys have to deal with him for a whole another year.
yeah, he's scary.
Scary. The kid's still growing. He's like 8 feet tall.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But I mean, hey, to be frank, to be fair, when you were at the high school level, I'm sure the same schools in the CCC were saying the same thing. We got to deal with Hickey again. No, I don't want to do that. That's great to hear, man. But hey, I really do appreciate you coming on. I have a couple more questions I want to ask you. As
Sure.
far as the upcoming season, and now you said when does camp start for Yale?
August 19th.
August 19th. So now, what are you doing leading up to that? I know you're probably still sticking to your routines as far as the workouts, but has anything changed as far as your day to day?
Yeah, so I have a job now working North Branford High School as a custodial help. So I do that in the mornings, and then in the afternoons, we go to lift and then conditioning, and then we get field work after that. And then on our off days, Wednesdays and Saturdays, I go to the field by myself and do things.
So what time are you waking up? 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock?
Yeah, about 5:15 for work, and then go through my day, and then go to sleep and do it again.
Wash, rinse, repeat, or rinse, wash, repeat. One of those, right? I feel. Hey, to be honest with you, I think getting up early is a lot better than getting up later because then you get
Oh
more
yeah,
done and you feel more accomplished, right?
exactly. You're doing a whole bunch of things, and then you look at the clock, and it's 9 o'clock, and you're like, some people aren't even up, and then it really motivates you to just keep going.
Exactly. I mean, hey, another chip to having that mindset. You're doing something that other people aren't. I mean, that's another thing too. You're balancing now. You have a job. I mean, you're working or Branford custodian. You're doing that. Then you're doing all this other stuff. It just adds to the layers of Dathan Hickey.
Yeah.
You know. Now, as far as the work, I know we've talked about the workouts a lot. Now, being able to going into camp on the 19th, what is what is the one or two things that you think, because I know a lot has changed as far as the year plus, and I don't know how much of the team is different because I haven't had an opportunity to look through the whole roster and dissect it. But what are you kind of previewing? I mean, if you could give a glimpse of what the potential season could be for Yale, what could that be?
A championship. Straight up. Our defense is a whole bunch of young guys coming back that just had crazy experience, and now we're all juniors and a couple seniors. Sophomores coming in, adding to the mix. So our defense is going to be really good this year. Our offense has a whole bunch of guys that know how to play football, does know how to play the game. Our quarterback is, I think, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Our receiving core, we have great receivers. Our O line is coming together. So I honestly think that we will be just as good, if not better, than we were last year.
Have you been in constant communication with the whole team in like a group chat or anything like that?
But yeah, so we talk as much as we can. We have a little group chat thing, and then the guys that were able to make it here in the summer, we talk every day through our workouts and conditioning and whatever we have to do, and we're all on the same page. So that's the most important thing, being all on the same page and knowing what we expect of each other.
How many of you guys have been able to work out for the ones that do live close by? How many have been able to show up?
A lot of guys come from back home too. So we had about 60 something in the first summer session, and then we have about 90 something in the second summer session. So
Wow,
yeah, we're
60.
getting over.
That the weight room must be fully packed.
Yeah,
You must have to wait 20 minutes to get a squat in.
nah, we don't. It's we
Okay.
just got this new weight. We got a new weight room thanks to the lacrosse team. So if it's a lot of guys,
Really? So how massive are we talking? Are we talking like three times bigger than the average weight room or what?
pretty big. It's probably like I think 18 to 20 racks. So yeah, and then we got a half turf. So we got a pretty good amount of space.
So it's almost like because doesn't the edge have turf too in some sense?
Yeah, they got a little one. Our turf is longer than that.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, come on, you guys are Yale.
Yeah, but yeah, we have a decent amount of space to work with. So thankful for that.
Yeah, right. I mean, hey guys, thanks for being able to help us out real quick so we can get a couple quick workouts in, right?
Exactly.
Now, for yourself, and I know that you hold yourself to a high bar. I think that's been talked about many times during this episode. What do you, what are your goals? What are the goals of Dathan Hickey for this season?
Well, so each day I wake up in the morning, I write down my three goals for my future, my uh kind of I guess present, and then this next season. So my three goals are to play in the NFL, to lead the nation in interceptions, and to be an All-American. So those are the three goals that I really, each and every day I'm working towards. No matter what I'm doing, whether I'm watching film on the field, lifting, and I really hold those close. Like I said, I write them down every morning. I have them written on my board um, for when I walk out the door. And then after every practice, I end with 9 catches, three to each side and three up, just to really solidify those three things. And I say it every catch. I say them, and the 9 stands for the amount of interceptions I'm striving for. It's a big number, but no, nothing's too big. So I really strive for that.
Now, when you write these down every single day, you said, correct?
Yeah.
Is that, is there, has there ever been a point during that time when you started doing that? When did you start doing this?
I probably started doing it about 2.5 months ago.
Okay. Now, has there ever been a point up until now where, not to say that when you wrote it down you didn't mean it, but where you wrote it, but then it was like, man, like you like, the day just was rough. Either a rough day at work, rough day outside, maybe you didn't get a good workout in. Was there ever a day where it was like, it just was it was a sucky day? It was just terrible.
Yeah, there are sucky days, but that doesn't just change your progression, and change what you think. So I know that not every day is going to be a good day. Not every day is going to be a bad day. But you got to take what you get throughout the day and really do what you can with it to make it as good as it can be.
Nathan, I wish you nothing but the best of luck as far as when school starts. I'll try my best to get to a game if I can, but I'm sure I'll be seeing you on ESPN when you get those. What was it? 9 interceptions, correct?
Yeah, trying.
You know what? If you could throw in a sack or two, that'd be good as well. Because I love
I'll take
seeing I love seeing corners or safeties or linebackers coming in, going downhill, getting the quarterback.
I'll take anything I can get.
But hey, man, I wish you nothing. Like I said, I wish you nothing but the best of luck, and I hope that, and I know that you will accomplish all three of those goals. I truly believe that.
I appreciate that, man.
No problem. That wrap things up in the Connecticut Sports Talent Show. So until next time, stay safe. And our CT stands for Connecticut Talent. I'm not sure to find them all. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody, and be well.